standard definitions of overweight and obesity used by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. We conducted regression analyses using data for all adults from all across California, interviewed for CHIS, and we related soda consumption to overweight and obesity, adjusting for demographic factors such as race and income. Our analysis revealed that there are high rates of soda consumption in California. 41% of children ages 2 to 11 drink at least one soda every day. This is nearly 2.2 million young children in the state. Adolescents have the highest consumption rates, with 62% of them drinking soda, at least one soda every day, and this amounts to 2.1 million teens in our state. In addition, 24% of adults drink at least one soda every day. This is 6.4 million adults in California. Next, we examined the link between soda consumption and overweight and obesity. We found that soda consumption is associated with an increased likelihood of being overweight or obese among adults, regardless of income or race ethnicity. Specifically, adults who drink one or more sodas every day are 27% more likely to be overweight or obese than adults who do not drink soda, regardless of income or race ethnicity. In addition, adults who drink soda occasionally, but not every day, are 15% more likely to be overweight or obese than adults who do not drink soda. We also found that soda consumption was higher in certain counties in California. For example, the percent of young children drinking at least one soda each day ranges from 18% in Marin County to 61% in Imperial County. And among adolescents, the consumption rates ranged from 39% of teens drinking one or more sodas per day in Mendocino County to 78% in San Joaquin County. In summary, more than 10.7 million Californians drink at least one soda each day. This soda consumption increases the amount of added sugar and other caloric sweeteners in the diet of Californians. Adults who drink soda every day are 27% more likely to be overweight or obese compared to adults who do not drink soda, regardless of race or income. This study is part of a larger body of research examining the link between soda consumption and obesity, and this body of research supports policy efforts by California to limit or discourage consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages. The research presented here also illustrates the importance of ongoing surveillance of this public health issue so that we can track California's progress on these problems. We have prepared a press folder that includes copies of the study. It's available on the table right outside the chambers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next witness, please.
Thank you. My name is Kelly Brownell. I'm the director of the Rudd Center for Food Policy and Obesity at Yale University, where I'm also professor of psychology, epidemiology, and public health. I'm delighted to travel all this way, even if only to speak for a few minutes, because I believe this is a historic event, not only in California, but nationwide. So congratulations for holding these hearings. The work that I will be presenting will be part of the work of the Rudd Center, as I mentioned, and I have our website circled there because it's rich with information on issues of sugared beverages and other topics related to diet, nutrition, and obesity. The beverage landscape has changed, as Senator Padilla suggested. When I was in school, I don't know if there were any soft drink machines in my school, but if there was, there may have been one. The nation's high schools now, except for places that have taken action to stop this, are loaded with opportunities for children to consume sugar-sweetened beverages during the day. The industry has changed from a few flagship products like Coke and Pepsi to a wide array of sugar-sweetened beverages, including, in the case of this slide, the sports drinks, the energy drinks that are proliferating in the market now, waters that are where sugar is added and presumed nutrients, and then sugared teas are just examples of the way the beverage landscape has changed. There are many, many ways for people to consume calories in liquid form. In some cases, these things are marketed with a health aura, with the name fruit in the name but not in the beverage, as an example. As Senator Padilla mentioned in his initial comments, portion sizes have changed tremendously from 6.5 to 8 ounces and then on upwards to very large serving sizes, and this is reflected also, as Senator Padilla said, in the servings at a place like 7-Eleven. The 64-ounce double gulp on the right-hand side there would contain 48 teaspoons of sugar. So this is a remarkable assault on the body. How much are people consuming? Nationwide, the average intake is 50 gallons of sugar-sweetened beverages per year per person. That amounts to an enormous amount of sugar. As you can see from the demonstration on my right, enormous amounts of sugar being added to the diet. The average child consumes 175 calories a day in sugar-sweetened beverages, and this is having a negative impact on weight. My colleagues and I at Yale University conducted a systematic review of all the scientific literature that we published in 2007 in the American Journal of Public Health, and the results couldn't have been more clear. Very strong relationships between sugar beverage consumption, obesity, and diabetes. About the only studies, with a few exceptions, that didn't agree with this overall outcome were studies funded by the industry, and I'll come back to that point in just a moment. Since 2007, as my colleagues to my left have suggested, much more research has been done. It is even more convincing than the research that we reviewed at that point. And there are more conflicts of interest. That is, there are more studies funded by the industry which, to no one's surprise, find results favorable to industry interests. The key problems with sugar-sweetened beverages are listed here. It's a major source of added sugar. There's poor calorie compensation, as was suggested earlier. And then there's the issue of the caffeine and the sugar and how jointly they might contribute to an addictive process. There's very good research on caffeine and its addiction. Most of the caffeine is added gratuitously to beverages. The industry claims that it's added as a flavor enhancer, but in fact, in good controlled studies, not many people can detect the flavor of caffeine, and so it's probably added simply for its addictive potential. And more research is coming out looking at the effect of sugar as an addictive substance as well. There are many, many nation and world organizations calling for reductions in added sugar in the diet and sugar-sweetened beverages. So this just begins the list. This is a sample, but we have our CDC, the USDA, the Institute of Medicine, and several major medical organizations, and the World Health Organization have called for reductions in these. About the only organizations one can find that don't agree with this premise are ones that are somehow funded by the industry. The Centers for Disease Control recently announced its major strategy for dealing with the nationwide problem of obesity, and one of the key components of their strategy is to reduce the intake of sugar-sweetened beverages. Now, industry will respond, and you'll hear some of this later. I don't know that I can completely predict what the industry will say, but the script is pretty well written by now. It's remarkably similar to some of the script parts from the tobacco industry when they were fighting public health interventions as well. So I expect you're going to hear 8 things today from the industry. 2 will be true, 6 will be false. Number 1 is that many things contribute to the obesity problem. That is true, but that's not an argument for not doing anything about the problem. You start where the science is strongest. The science is strongest on sugar-sweetened beverages. Second, they'll say that just reducing sugar-sweetened beverage problem won't solve the obesity problem. That's true as well. No one thing will solve the obesity problem, but again, that's not an argument for taking action. The industry will argue that consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages is down at the same time obesity is up. But this is gaming the system in a way, because typically what these numbers mean is that consumption of the flagship carbonated